Some of the benefits of doing science and doing hands-on science is you have 100% participation. Everybody's engaged. There's not one child off task. They're excited about it. They're having fun. When I wrote this grant, it's called What's Up? Renewable Energy. I wrote this because I wanted the children to see the different possibilities, the different venues that we could use to create clean energy for our planet. And I wanted the children to be aware and see the technology that's becoming available to us as adults. Because of the Good Idea Grant, I was able to purchase snap kits that are green. And there's 112 different projects that the kids can complete. They're almost foolproof. Every child is successful. They snap together, they hook together, they follow the diagrams. They go outside and they test. They see the electricity that's generated. They can make horns and whistles blow. They can make a radio work, which was the first time today, and they loved having the radio working. We've also made hand generators. They built it, they had the motors, they had to get the gears put together, so it was a great deal of problem solving. They loved it because it was one of the first things they did where they actually saw that they, with mechanical energy, could make something work.
My favorite activity was the hand generators. When you crank it, it makes a circuit.
Today was the first day they were exposed to the potato clock. We've had a garden this year and we've talked about how energy comes from plants, but this one really showed it. Once the probes were in the potatoes and the lemons and the clock worked, the kids were so excited. We've got one big, large windmill. The kids can see that it does generate electricity. We've made windmill turbines, which are great fun.
Kind of cool because when the generator spins, it generates the electricity into the LED light. I learned that wind is a type of energy and it's useful for a lot of things.
Solar boats were great fun. That was a family project. So the kids had the kit, they took it home, and the parents worked together. They all worked as a team. And then we walked up to the swimming pool. The kids had so much fun seeing that their boats actually worked. It was a highlight. All the parents loved it, and the kids definitely did. If we don't build that love of science and technology at this age, it's going to be real hard, even by the time they get to middle school, for them to be interested. But if all of a sudden we can capture their imaginations, we can get that excitement, then those children will just run with it.
It's fun because when you do it, you actually learn more than you thought you actually did learn.
And not only is it science, it's math, it's reading, it's communication skills. The Good Idea Grant is wonderful. It enables teachers to be able to bring different activities to their classroom that we would not be able to otherwise. From the bottom of my heart, I would like to thank the Public Schools Foundation of Hawaii for having this opportunity and allowing teachers to apply for a grant and to make things very special happen in their classroom.
Thank you for giving my teacher money so she could buy you stuff.
I will definitely continue these projects. The students love them. I see the changes it makes in students, and I want to keep those changes going and going and going.
The worst feeling in the world as a teacher is when you see a student sleeping in class. When I teach this topic using the activities provided by the Good Ideas Grant, I don't have a single student with their head down. They're up, they're excited, they're into it, and that's awesome. You love it when your students are happy. That's a great feeling as a teacher. I applied for the Good Idea Grant because I really needed supplies for my lesson on evidence for evolution. And I didn't have any supplies for that lesson. And I thought it was really important because you gotta visualize it. You gotta see the evidence before your eyes. The objective of the project was to really give the students a visual, hands-on, easy understanding of how evolution works. The nice thing about this Good Idea Grant was that I was able to use this grant for lots of different activities. The whole purpose of the bacteria activity is to really represent exactly what happens in our bodies. You're going to have some bacteria who get easily killed by antibiotics. And then you have some bacteria that have mutations where it's really hard to kill them with the antibiotic. And this is what we see happening in the world today, where we're getting superbugs, and we only understand that through the concept of evolution. The great thing about this activity was that students were able to incorporate their math skills, and to integrate math into the science classroom, that's like a dream come true. The peppered moth activity is a really fun activity for the kids. What they get is they get a box, and that represents the tree that has been covered in soot that has been emitted from the factories. And then they get moths of varying intensities, different colors. They shake it up, and then they pretend to be a bird. And the bird comes by and eats the moths one by one. The really interesting thing about that activity is I don't tell the students, pick the white moth. But every single time I've run that activity, they have picked the white moth. And so that activity helps them understand that when you have an environment where you got soot, the white moths are going to disappear, and they're going to be replaced by darker ones. That's just how evolution works, natural selection. The activity with the skulls is called hominid evolution, and we've got 6 different skulls aging from 1.8 million years ago to about 35,000 years ago. But the really exciting thing about those skulls is that you see over time a gradual increase in brain size, showing evolution. I never had any exposure as a student to the actual fossils of evolution. I always thought they were just a theory, that we didn't really know if they existed. And now I can show my students it's much more than a theory.
These projects have definitely gave me a better picture of how science works, and I was able to really kind of understand it better because I was able to see it in front of me and actually work with it.
Yeah, they really do help me for college and my future career, hopefully in the medical field, because they lay the foundations for what they're going to teach us at advanced levels.
Evidence for evolution is right in our state standards. I couldn't address the standard as thoroughly as I do without these activities, without the skulls, without the bacteria. They were so interactive, the students loved them, it gave them real-world examples of evolution, and it just made teaching this a success and a joy.
I think science is mainly curiosity. If you can keep them curious and wondering about the world, that's basically what science is, trying to find an explanation for something that's going on in the world. The Good Idea grant that I wrote for was actually to purchase oxygen sensors to attach to the Vernier handhelds that we have. What it does is it measures oxygen gas generated in a chamber. I'm using it in a lab, it's called an enzyme lab, where we're measuring how fast the enzyme is breaking down hydrogen peroxide, and the enzyme is found in the liver. So what the kids are doing is they're measuring different scenarios, whole liver, ground liver, boiled liver, and also potatoes in the same format to see how much oxygen is generated and relate that to how well the enzyme is working.
The most important thing I was able to learn is a new way to collect data through technology. I've never really done that before, but it was a good experience.
After they're done with the data, they'll produce a graph and go to the analysis, looking at how fast the enzyme is working, which enzyme is working better. Anytime you can add math to science, it's a real big deal. Biology at the 10th grade level, there's very little math, there's very little chance for data collection. This opportunity gives them another chance to do it and actually brings them some big concepts like looking at rate analysis and those kinds of things.
We work in groups, we use different skills like discussion and math skills. We will use those in the future.
Before, when I was doing the lab, I'll get kind of mixed up information. They pour in the hydrogen peroxide and they'd look at how much bubbles was being generated, and then they'd rate it as a plus for a slow reaction, plus for a middle, 3+ for a fast, and a 0. When I grade the labs, they're like, oh, they totally missed the subject because it's subjective. I mean, like a lot of kids, they think it's a fast reaction, but it's not really a fast reaction, so they don't really know what they're looking at. Now, with the sensors, they get the numbers, they build the graphs, it's much more accurate.
It makes the learning interesting because all the kids want to use it because it's new technology. They think it's cool, so they're like more interested in science.
Right now, there's so many breakthroughs using technology. Stuff that we're using 15, even 10 years ago is obsolete, and they need to be able to be comfortable with technology in the lab setting. If you're not comfortable with it, you're at a disadvantage.
It was new and I got to learn it, and I probably will use it in college when I do labs with other professors. And it's nice to know that I know how to use it.
Definitely the hands-on experience was the best part because it's different from just reading about it. Actually doing it, you'll remember it a lot better.
They really like the lab. They really enjoy playing with the verniers. They look forward to it. It gets me excited about teaching that one lab. I'm very thankful to the foundation that they do offer Good Ideas Grant. I'm sure a lot of teachers in the state are very thankful for it. Actually, all the schools in the state, we're always fighting for money, and this gives them an opportunity to try and write for it. If you can try for a grant and do something new in your curriculum, it helps the teacher as well as the students out.
A lot of times, students that have special education services and students from disadvantaged backgrounds don't feel like that something big like robotics is something that they can do. The best thing about our Good Idea Grant and the Robotics You Can Do It was just giving the students the opportunity to be a part of it. Dean and I had an idea a couple of years ago when the robotics program just started. We realized that a lot of the students were qualified under gifted and talented, or they're already meeting the standards, and we felt that a lot of the other students might not be signing up for the program. So we created the Good Idea Grant to create a team of students who receive special education services and students from disadvantaged backgrounds, and create a team with them so that they could have the opportunity to participate in a program that they might be a little intimidated or overwhelmed to participate. The name of our team was the Royal Bots 3, and they participated in the FLL First Lego League competition. Our real goal for the program was just for the students to be able to participate and encourage them to put their whole selves into it, and that they could make a program and build and compete just like everybody else. The Lego kit needs to be ordered from the FLL, and it comes with a lot of different parts. We really try to let them do as much of the work as they can without our assistance. And then when they need help, we find the teachable moments that we can show them, well, 90 degrees didn't work. You know, what degree do you want to try now? Well, this first Lego League Robotics and the robotics program that we have is really all about science, math, and technology.
Well, we program it on a computer, telling it what to do and where to go, where to turn.
My main job on the team was a programmer. What I tell it to do is to go straight, turn, or reverse.
We use math for angles, degrees.
The students worked really hard throughout the year to get ready for the local competition.
We had to make sure our robot was working and it could do the obstacle.
And they actually placed 6th place for all their hard work and found themselves going to Oahu to the state competition. I think going to the state competition was a very good experience for the students. It's something they never experienced before. Their confidence was up high, they worked together as a team, and we went home happy, and they had a lot of fun.
I enjoyed this project because it's fun and you learn new things.
Teamwork, because I never could work with other people before.
It made me feel happy that I built something challenging.
Dean and I would like to thank the Public Schools of Hawaii Foundation for giving us and our students and families the opportunity to experience the robotics program. If not, these students that we had wouldn't be with the self-confidence that they had, that they can be a part of robotics, that they can learn science, that they can be engineers. So we really appreciate all of that. I'm very proud of all of the students, and I think they're proud of themselves, more importantly.